Welcome to another video from 55 Degrees North, your channel for uncovering the hidden history and urban stories of North East England. Today we're here in the heart of Newcastle city centre, exploring one of the city's most historic but often overlooked streets, Clayton Street. This street runs through the heart of Grainger Town, Newcastle's 19th century neoclassical district, and while it may not be as famous as Grey Street, its story is just as fascinating. From its origins in the 1930s as part of Richard Grainger's grand vision, to rise of local department stores, churches, cinemas and the iconic Golden Lady clock, Clayton Street is full of stories waiting to be told. So let's take a walk through time, right here on Clayton Street. To understand Clayton Street, you first have to step back into the 1830s, when Newcastle was undergoing one of the most radical transformations of any city in the north. Enter three men: Richard Grainger, a daring developer; John Dobson, a brilliant neoclassical architect; and John Clayton, the town clerk, whose legal and financial skill made the whole project possible. Together they laid out a vision for a new city, elegant, ordered, inspired by ancient Rome and Georgian London. This became known as Grainger Town. The street begins at Eldon Square, near Blackett Street, and runs southwest, crossing Newgate Street, passing the Grainger Market, and continuing as Clayton Street West. It descends gently towards Westgate Road, where it meets Westmoreland Road, just a short walk from Newcastle Central Station. The route was no accident. Clayton Street was built as a connecting artery, linking the new civic heart of Newcastle to the key western roads out of the city. And who better to name it after than John Clayton himself, the man who helped make the dream a reality. Unlike the dramatic curve of Grey Street or the redefined elegance of Grainger Street, Clayton Street was designed for function and flow. It was a street of shops and homes and businesses and bustle. 3 or 4 storey buildings, retail on the ground floor, residence and workshops above. Neat, purposeful, still beautiful. And that's the charm of Clayton Street. It wasn't built to be grand, it was built to work, to connect, to live in, and almost 200 years later it still does. Starting at the north end, we're immediately met by the west wall of the Grainger Market. That long classical facade, it's actually the outer shell of a vast covered market built in 1835. 50 bays long, with Corinthian style detailing and neat Georgian symmetry. This is the street's architectural backbone. It's also a Grade 1 listed building, a national treasure. Then there's number 12 Clayton Street, once the Lord Collingwood pub. Its curved ashlar stone frontage, likely designed by John Dobson himself, made it a welcoming landmark at the top of the street. Today it's been converted, but the graceful curve still greets visitors. As we move down, we meet St Mary's Cathedral, just off Clayton Street West. Built in 1844 by A.W.N. Puggin, architect of the Houses of Parliament, it's one of the city's great Gothic revival landmarks. Its soaring spire contrasts beautifully with the neoclassical lines of the street, a reminder of the city's diversity in architecture and faith. Next up is Clarendon House, built in 1896 as a temperance hotel, a place for sober living in time of strong Victorian morals. Commissioned by Joseph Cowan, the radical MP and champion of workers' rights, it features a red brick and sandstone design with decorative corner turrets and oriel windows. Clarendon House reflects the shift in style from classical order to late Victorian flourish, and shows how Clayton Street evolved with the city's changing needs and values. Just across the road from Clarendon House, at the corner of Clayton Street West and Westgate Road, stands another architectural gem, Atlas Chambers, built in 1894. This ornate stone building was originally home to Jackson the Tailor, a prominent menswear company. Its standout features includes a corner dome rich stone carvings and pink granite doorway, and the name suggests once featured a statue of Atlas holding the world. Atlas Chambers is Grade 2 listed, and it reflects the competent commercial architecture of late Victorian Newcastle. Grand, detailed and designed to make an impression over the years, it's housed everything from tailors to cafes to fast food, but the building itself remains a bold marker at the gateway to Clayton Street West. As we walk further along Clayton Street, it's worth pausing to remember that this wasn't just part of Richard Grainger's master plan, it was also part of his personal life. From 1842 until his death in 1861, Grainger lived right here on the street that he helped create at number 36 Clayton Street West. And just a few doors down at number 28, where the offices were, he worked, drawing up designs, negotiating deals and planning Newcastle's transformation. It is said that Grainger died at number 28, still living and working in the very heart of the city he reshaped. His presence on Clayton Street wasn't symbolic, he lived it every day. By the late 19th and 20th century, Clayton Street had blossomed into a bustling retail corridor. There were department stores like T.A. Potts and Howard's, grocers, outfitters, furniture dealers, tailors, photographers. Clayton Street West in particular was packed with specialty stores that catered to everyone from factory workers to the city's rising middle class. It wasn't just shopping though, it was life. Families lived above the shops, apprentices learned their trades in the back rooms, the pub on the corner, the chapel down the block. It was a complete community in a single stretch of stone. And then there's the Golden Lady. At the corner of Clayton Street West and Westgate Road stands the former Northern Goldsmiths building, built in 1910. But it was in 1932 that it gained its most iconic feature, a gilded female figure standing atop a clock. Some say she's Venus, others simply call her the Golden Lady. Covered in 24-carat gold leaf, she has stood for nearly a century, arms outstretched, catching the light and the gaze of passers-by. Today the statue is more than a piece of public art, it's a symbol of Newcastle's memory. There's also one on the Northern Goldsmiths building on the corner of Blackett Street and Pilgrim Street, which is in full working order. But Clayton Street's cultural legacy doesn't end there. Down on Clayton Street West stood the new Westgate Cinema, built in 1927, a grand picture palace with over 1,800 seats. It soon became the majestic ballroom, one of the city's best known music venues. In the 1960s it hosted legendary names, the Beatles, the Kinks, the Who. The Beatles even stayed nearby at the Turk's Head Hotel and said to have worked on She Loves You when in Newcastle. Today the venue lives on as NX Newcastle, keeping the spirit of live music alive in the heart of the city. Like many high streets, Clayton Street saw decline in the 20th century, shuttered shops, plain signage, fast food chains. Some of the elegance was lost, buried under decades of grime and neglect. But thanks to the Grainger Town project in the 1990s and 2000s, the street has seen a remarkable revival. Stone cleaned, windows restored, shop fronts renovated to match their historic roots. Now Clayton Street is once again alive, with international cafes, barbers, vintage stores, independent boutiques, and above it all, the same Georgian windows that have watched for nearly 200 years. So the next time you're in Newcastle, don't just walk past Clayton Street, walk through it, look up, notice the carved stone, the iron balconies, the old shop names etched into lintels. Because this isn't just a street, it's a timeline, from Richard Grainger's classical dream to Joseph Cowen's social vision to a golden lady who's still keeping watch. If you've enjoyed this walk through time, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your memories, thoughts, or even suggestions for where we should go next. And if you've liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up, as it really helps the channel grow. And if you've not already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. and hit that bell notification so you never miss another video. A massive thank you for watching. See you next time on 55 Degrees North.